I'm going to use two distinct definitions of knowledge, okay? So when we think of what does it mean to know something, for many educators, we define it in terms of declarative knowledge, which would be, I know that 2 + 2 = 4, right? That is a fact, or Washington, D.C. is the capital of America. And there's also procedural knowledge, which is the understanding of how to go about a process and how to do this process in different ways across different contexts. And what we noticed was that the students, particularly those coming from national schools, had an extreme emphasis on declarative knowledge. They were getting 800s on their SAT math subject tests, right? They had no problem answering the questions in a standardized test format. But if you ask them to say, how did you feel? And it was all of a sudden, there wasn't an A, B, C, D answer choice, they got completely lost.
Students are seen but not heard. Their opinions are always denied by the authorities, the adults, and etc. because they're seen as only children. They're seen as not important enough.
The Thai culture is kind of, we would like to harmonize everything. When we have conflicts, we harmonize, and when the country decided the social harmony should take a precedence over the critical argumentation and open debate. So the critical thinking would be forever weird or forever alien into the society.
You might have heard of the flag raising ceremony every morning that 2,000 or 3,000 of students gather together in some school in broad sunlight, very, very hot temperature, and they sing the national anthem together, they pray together, the Buddhist one. And to be honest, it reminds me of the military, and that should not happen with the students because students are not soldiers. And they have to have their own opinions. Their mind must be free in order to be creative, in order to think out of the box, in order to think critically.
The main impediment is that the critical thinking is actually a good thing to have. It's pretty difficult because you may run counter into a deeply entrenched belief that society found out that it's unpalatable, it's unacceptable.
We can't really express our opinions in the classroom. Any arguments that is against the teacher's opinions are viewed as aggressive.
It's rare that some group of people or some people ask the question, and some teachers will find that it's not appropriate to ask the question. So I don't know why as well.
We have the students' hairstyle restriction, and when the students violate the rule, they get punished by humiliation, and sometimes the teachers cut their hair publicly in front of other students, like they make the students feel shame of themselves.
And that is the idea that the teacher is this top-down approach, and the teacher must have respect no matter what, right? One of the things that was very fascinating is that this hierarchical approach is in direct conflict with all of the lives of the students, right? So take a student who's in grade 10 or grade 11. What are they doing in their free time? They're talking online with their friends instantaneously. If they have a question, as we saw in that video, they're going to Google it, right? They're going to look at Wikipedia. They have instant access to knowledge, and that individual student has the ability to be a sharer of knowledge, right?
When it comes to the history class, I was like, oh my god, this is very boring. The text or the material focuses on Thonburi, Ratanakosin, Sukhothai, it's a kind of this, which is, I think, it's good that you should know how your country has been historically developed. But the question is that too far from the present day problems? The textbook mainly mentions about the sense of adoration of the heroes or heroic who saved the countries, such as Bangladeshis or some group of people. It only one's perspective. It lacks another international, it lacks a social, and it lacks a people perspective in each era. in my opinion, it should be a contemporary history, such as like 1932, 1976, which you guys all know that it's never been mentioned in the textbook for some reason. Well, what's about World War I, World War II? Any revolutions of any countries? No, it's never been in the textbook of the Thai education. So, my humble opinion is that I think the material should be more broad and in regional and global perspective. The textbook should not highlight Thailand as a center of everything.
One of the problems that people talk a lot is the inefficiency use of resource, because Thailand is a country that spends a lot of money on education. So we are the second country that spends the highest proportion of budget on education. And we also lack of accountability at many levels.
When you have school assessment, the officials don't get the true results because the school will ask students to do a lot of things in order to do some favor to the officials.
Because the Ministry of Education is the only ministry in Thailand that changed the minister very frequently. In the past 15 years, we have 16 ministers of education. Each person stay around 10 months. So I think this is one of the reasons that the government officials there, they have to adapt to change. So they do not have a long-term policy goal. I feel that this is not a very, very beneficial thing for the education of the country, but since our political system is like this, I'm not sure what can we do. Among the Asian country, we fare almost the last country. We only higher than Kazakhstan in terms of English efficiency. Even though Thai students study English, I think now they're in first grade. When they graduate from high school or even at university, they still cannot speak or read or write English very well.
Thai students only take exams on grammar. No conversation skills is required. No actual conversation is taking place in many English classes, and that has to be changed.
And the university in Thailand also do not fare very well in terms of international ranking. In the Times Higher Education ranking, only one Thai university, which is King Mongkut University, Thonburi, only one Thai university make it to the top 500.
The authorities or the powerful people or the Puyai in this country need to genuinely answer that what kind of student that you want to see in the future, what kind of state, what kind of the country that you want. You want superficial, you want the obedient, I think you probably reach that. Or you want this country that are ready and every time in order to develop themselves suitable for the globalizational world.